Welcome to A Funny Thing Called Business. We are 4 business owners with over 30 years collective experience under our belts, sharing the capers and triumphs of running a small business and how we now avoid perilous customer chaos and pitfalls. I am Clare Worley. We also have
Kate Curry,
Darren Langley,
Pete Morgan.
Oh, you just went out of order, guys.
That's Kate Curry going rogue.
She was very excited to get her name in
She
there.
was.
She thinks she's been promoted.
Sorry, it's because you were looking at me.
Well, I thought it was you next. Anyway, welcome back, guys. We've all had a bit of a holiday, haven't we? Mm-hmm. So it's nice to be back in the room together doing our lovely podcast. And today we are talking about the all-important work-life balance when it comes to running your business. So let's get started. What memories have you got looking back to when you first started in relation to work-life balance? Kate?
Oh,
You may speak.
Yeah. If you want to say your name first, you might as well go first with your story.
You did that to trick me then. You were pointing at Pete and then went, Kate. Okay, favourite story. I think when... my biggest challenge with work-life balance definitely came up in lockdown.
Oh. Lockdown 1, 2 or 3?
Oh, probably all of them. The trilogy, the whole trilogy. It was really difficult because that really did mingle together, work and life in one big sort of grotty, lumpy soup, which was really, really hard to sort of manage. And I think that was my... that was one of my most trickiest times to manage the two together when you're trying to go, right, I need to be professional, got lots of Zoom calls, and then you've got your kids having a big fight in the background, or they're hungry, which is the other thing, or they just want to lift somewhere. Well, we couldn't do that in lockdown, but, it was just, that was really, really intense. There wasn't really a solution to that, really, was there? We
just lock them in the cupboard. Told you that.
That seems to work. Put a newspaper on the floor for them and a bit of
Darren Langley patented...
School of Parenting.
Exactly, superb.
So how did you handle it?
Not particularly well, but, it was hard for everybody back then, wasn't it? I suppose coming out of that, what I then learned is actually the more you can delegate, the easier the balance is. So that's one of the things that I've really learned to do, is find some of the things that are eating too much of my time up and try and delegate those to other people. And then I've got a bit more time then to make food for the kids, all the other things that they demand of my time. So, I suppose that's where I'm at with it.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say you've got a good work-life balance?
I think it's loads better than it was, absolutely. I will never be perfect at it because I think that's just my nature is like I get very distracted by things that excite me and then I say yes to too much stuff and then I panic because I'm trying to crowbar far too many things into my week. But generally, and I think this is where probably the delegating comes into its own, it's being able to go, actually, I don't need to do that and that. I can pass that on to somebody else. And now the girls are older. We're like, now you can do a bit of ironing, actually. There you go. Off you go. You can earn some pocket money. Happy days.
Right.
Delegate to the kids.
So, Darren, what about you and memories or thoughts on how you used to think about or handle work-life balance?
Well, I remember how I used to be before I became more cynical, where I used to, check my phone, religiously all the time. And I remember one time being on holiday on a cruise ship with the family, trying to enjoy myself, and then being kind of bombarded by, there was a client who's had a website who's, there was some problems they needed dealing with. That's fair enough. But it just put me straight back into the stressful work mind rather than the enjoying being on a cruise ship with the kids and the buffet food and all of that. So it was very easy to then sort of slip back into that stressful working mode. And like Kate just said, now it's a case of, well, you can delegate that. If you've got the things in advance set up, people you can delegate to. And the other thing being managing clients' expectations, letting them know when you're going on holiday and not being ashamed of it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's one of the big things. And I mean, some of my clients call me Judith Chambers because we go on holiday quite a lot, but it's like it's
You look like a Jude.
He does look like I was just thinking, yes. Very apt.
but, it's fine. It's there's nothing to be sort of ashamed of.
No.
And then if you've got processes and things in place, you've
Trello.
managed your expectations, you've got Trello working for you, that's good. And you've got people you can outsource to, then things won't really slow down to a point of grinding to a halt. While you're away, you'll be, you'll be able to enjoy your holiday.
Yeah.
And that's really important.
I think that's interesting because that's my first memory of when I started my business. I was just thinking about business all the time, around the clock, dreaming about it and waking up and going, oh yeah, I've got to do that. I felt like I was kind of having to punish myself for, if you want this business to work, you've got to work all the time. Working will get you the results. And of course, that's not the truth, is it?
Just feel like that used to be the mantra, isn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem that way now. You've got 4-hour work week and all these kind of, gurus telling you that you can work less and achieve the same results. I think we didn't have that 14 years ago. It was, like you say, if you haven't got your nose to the grindstone, you're not working hard enough and you're not going to work.
You're better at what you do if you give yourself a break, though, aren't you?
100%.
You're much more switched on and energised and,
Totally. So, Pete, what about you?
The first thing I thought of was in my previous life as a radio producer, and I was producing a breakfast show, and we were going to be doing an interview with Robbie Williams. And
just name drop.
we needed, let me just pick that one up. It was all kind of up in the air, and there was kind of email messages, and there was, some phone calls going to be going on just to confirm certain details. And my wife and I were having a difference of opinion.
Argument.
About a huge huge argument. Proper, and to be fair, it's rare that we do, but we were really kind of you, and I tell you, and then my phone rang, and of course normally what you do is you just go click, but I knew that I was going to be getting a call about this Robbie Williams interview, and I was like, I need to take this. So, and it went from that real kind of the argument voice that you have of you don't know what you're doing. What are you just jibber jabbering on to me all the time? Hi, Pete speaking. How can I help you? But it was one of those times of it can't come over into that. There needs to be an absolute defining line now. And I'm much better at it, but that was just the first thing that came to my mind of, speaking to Robbie Williams' press agents in the middle of a blazing... And you almost kind of paused. So, my wife's kind of just getting ready. As soon as I put the phone down, and another thing! So,
you just gave her space to think.
you're going to answer the phone and go, what do you want, Robbie?
And you calling me...
Bloody hell, Rob.
Yeah, he's Rob to his friends, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
So what do you wish you'd done differently, looking back now to the start of your business, when you could kind of think about work-life balance and not having to work all the time?
Well, I think that there's a certain pressure early in your business where you think, if I'm not here doing this right now, my business is going to fail instantly and no one's going to call me back, and then that'll be it. And I'll have to go and get a job.
Can't miss a phone call.
Can't miss a phone call.
Can't miss an email.
Yeah,
exactly.
I've got to get on it within an hour.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to reply.
So there's definitely an element of growing in confidence and being like, well, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And as your business grows and as it succeeds, then hopefully you're in a position where you can be a bit more, hopefully more choosy. And
But I don't think you should have to do that at the start of your business.
No.
Because it's doing all that stuff that you don't want to do that's stopping you finding the good clients and the good business.
And isn't that what you go? If you want to work for somebody and have that pressure from your boss, then
job,
go and get a job. But the whole point of working for yourself is that you can dictate how you work, who you work for.
agreed. I wish I'd have got out of the 9 to 5 mindset really as soon as I left, because I think I just left BT. I left that job and I did create another job for myself.
Right.
You have to be at your desk for 9 o'clock. You can clock off till 5. I wasn't even having any lunch or any kind of breaks. I was just like, no, you got to work. You got to make this work. So I was really blooming horrible to myself.
I think the big learning thing for me over the past probably 18 months, 2 years, probably actually since the pandemic, is, like Darren said, of that kind of drawing of the lines of expectations with your clients of, you know, if you message me after like 6 o'clock, you're not going to get a response until the next morning. The difficulty is, and we've talked about this before as well, is if a client gets in touch on WhatsApp. So I don't have email notifications on my phone. I can check my emails, but I really don't like to.
Yeah.
But it's if they get in touch another way, that's the difficulty of, it's just a quick replying thing.
Yeah, but you do that at 9 o'clock, and then there's a reply, and then you got to go back.
Exactly.
And then
That's
the
the
next
thing.
time, then
Well, you don't reply, and then the doorbell goes.
Oh, jeez.
I'll find another way then.
I was just passing.
Blimey now. Hey, what do you wish you'd done differently?
I think the same, really. Been a bit kinder to myself and set my parameters earlier on about what I'm prepared to do. Yeah, I was exactly the same. I suppose everybody is. You set up your business and you're just like, I'm going to throw everything at this. It's going to be amazing. And I did a lot of evenings, a lot of weekends, and it was really stressful. But I think some of the things that I've done that have really made a difference, one of them is getting like an office space. I've got a physical separate place to, and like, I go in there and I'll suddenly become professional. Like, right, now I'm at work.
In the house as well as your actual...
at home. So I've got like an office space at home, and I've got a separate office space, and you shut the door on it when you're done, and that's it. You then you know, cooking food for the kids.
I think that's that is definitely a big learning curve. I think now, post-pandemic, lots more people, employed as well as self-employed, are working from home, aren't they?
Yeah.
And, flexible time and home working, and they're hitting this thing that, 14 years ago when I started working for myself and working from home, there is that difficulty in setting the parameters of, should we be doing the washing up now or emailing clients? And for me, it was more like, should I be having a nap now or doing some work? The nap will always win, but it is kind of that.
I've done client phone calls and emptied the dishwasher at the same time. I've done things like that.
That's
and then
multitasking.
you'll drop something and swear, and then we're like, what are you actually doing? And no, nothing, just work. I'm listening to you. You have my full attention. But it's really, you need to sort of keep your physical parameters as well as your mental ones, don't you?
But if you've got that, if you've got the ability to have a room where you can shut the door, and I'm thinking now, we've been doing some home improvements and looking at places that do, furnishings and things. So many of them are like turning corners of your rooms into offices, like under the stairs into an office, a wardrobe, turn it into your office. And it's like, can you imagine having it to be, if you're in that position where you've got to have your office basically right in the middle of your room, it's really difficult to separate then the physical space of having an office room that you can shut the door on, leave it for the weekend, and be in your home, and vice versa.
Do you know anyone who's set up an office in a wardrobe?
No, but there's loads of in like catalogues. Some of them are quite nice actually.
You just like part your clothes.
But some of them are really. There's some really imaginative ones. Yeah, of like under the stairs, it's like turned into an office. Like, oh, that's quite good. Yeah. But it's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, a friend of mine's got their home office in the corner of their bedroom, and it's like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how.
Actually, I know a few people who've got theirs in the bedroom.
That's something that's kind of born out of the whole pandemic thing, and now people working from home. But I don't know. Are we set up in this country to have houses where we've got enough room to live and work? It's kind of
to be
a
fair,
real dilemma.
During the pandemic, my office was in the room opposite our bedroom. And I've got a sign on my door that I switch over and, shut the door.
Yeah.
But I was fully aware, like every time, just walking past my office. Yeah. And there seemed to be no let up. I've moved now to another room in the house. That is on the top floor, so I shut the door and I don't go on that floor.
Yeah, it whispers to you as you walk past and like,
Well, that's it.
Just
yeah.
switch on the laptop.
Well, my office, to get to the downstairs toilet, you have to go through my office, so that was sometimes quite tricky. But you know.
We're just holding it.
Right,
I'll just
hang
hold
on.
it.
I'll just answer this email quick. But yeah, I think that's the tip, isn't it? If you work from home, don't be seduced by having a workspace in your wardrobe or whatever.
No.
Try and separate it as much as you can.
Yeah, get it out your bedroom.
Those pods
Yeah,
for the bottom
yeah,
of the garden are great, or whatever, you know, that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
or just in a room that you
Massively
just
expensive.
don't use every single
Yeah.
day. You know, I'm lucky that I have my office is a room that when there's no reason to go back into
Oh, that's
it.
true. Yeah, 'cause yours is tucked away,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So once I leave it, you know, at 5 o'clock when I clock off,
Yeah.
there's no reason for me to go back into that room until 9 o'clock the next morning when I clock back in.
Yeah. This episode of A Funny Thing Called Business is sponsored by Kate Hollingsworth Photography. Are you desperately in need of a profile picture that actually looks like you? Images that show you as the approachable, friendly team you truly are. Photographs that make your website stand out from the crowd rather than being grey, boring and old school corporate. Then you need Kate Hollingsworth Photography. Kate is a brand photographer specialising in colourful, story-based images that really show off the best of you and your team. With a background as a BBC TV director and over 10 years' experience as a professional photographer, Kate certainly knows a thing or two about discovering your stories, how to convey what makes you special, and how to create imagery which resonates with your ideal clients. As well as a bespoke library of images, Kate gives you a huge bonus, 30 days worth of posting prompts and ideas for using your fabulous new photos, plus a slideshow to use in your advertising. Drop Kate Hollingsworth an email or connect with her on LinkedIn. So, in one sentence, what have you learned about yourself and your business to give you better work-life balance now?
That the life is a little bit more important than the work.
Mm-hmm. Did you not know that at the beginning?
No, there was times when work was just the most
yeah, the be all and
important
end
thing.
all. Yeah.
You know, so before I started my own business and when I started my own business, it was a really skewed thing, and it just took me time to realise, actually, no, work's great and I love it, but life is, it's not a work-life balance. It's your life that work is a part of. You know.
Yeah, it's quite a bad title, really, isn't it? Work-life balance.
We've got it now. It's too late.
So, Kate, what have you learned about yourself?
That it is impossible. No, hold on, let me start again. It is possible to enjoy both,
Yeah.
to get the best out of both. If you learn ways of making the best of both things, and I think having, being able to delegate certain things, being able to have the separate office space, it is possible to enjoy both.
Yeah.
I remember seeing when I was a couple of years ago, and you were like, I'm going on holiday for 3 weeks, and I'm putting my phone in my drawer and switching it off, and I was like, whoa, how are you doing this, like, wizardry, like being able to just like switch off for 3 weeks? And actually this year I've been able to do just that this year, because I've been able to implement so much stuff to enable things to keep ticking along in the background. Everybody knows I'm away. I've got people helping in the background, and nothing like went wrong. It was fine. It was okay. And I came back and I was like, right, okay, what went wrong? What have I got to do? And it was like, no, it's all sorted. It's all fine. Like, no way. So
brilliant.
Yeah,
that's
so
the thing. I
it's
think
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think sometimes that phone call or that email can wait. And sometimes you kind of put pressure on responding or whatever when the client perhaps doesn't expect you to reply anyway. They're not looking for.
It's your own pressure.
And you may have, if you've told them you're going away, say for example, you get that email, but you're confident that you've told them you're away. They actually know you're away. They're not expecting a reply. Everyone's on the same page. Then it can wait, and then you come back and you can deal with it then. And I think, but the thing that for me, I think that I've learned is that you're also not going to be producing your best work or doing your best for your clients if you've overworked yourself and overstressed yourself with all the work that you could be doing and not taking those breaks, because without taking time out and being able to relax and enjoy life and realise you're doing this for a reason, then I just think you're much more wound up, much more stressful, and you're just not going to produce your best, and then you're going to start resenting everything.
Yeah.
So, it is a balance, and that's the point of it. Most times, people aren't really expected to work as hard as we think we are. I think it's a personal pressure we put on ourselves more than anything.
I totally agree. We are at 1 today, Darren, because
Good.
that was mine, because as soon as I took the pressure off myself and took my feet off the accelerator, the entire time, then good stuff started to happen. I was kind of like, oh, it's not as, how hard I work that I'll, get all these results. It was really about just being more focused with my time. And when I wanted to step away, I stepped away and went for a walk, I went for a run, or just did something completely different. And
you'll become more positive, and then that positivity starts to,
Then I'm like, right, I'll have a bit more time off now.
Yeah.
How much can I push it?
The more time off you take, the more you get done.
Yeah, the more fun stuff happens.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest challenge you've got right now? Can I share mine? It
Yes.
feels like a confession. It's my phone. And I don't know what's happened, but something's definitely changed recently, where on my days off or the weekend, it's like my phone is calling me. And, while I'm able to, leave my phone at home, when I'm on holiday, that's no problem, easy. I just feel like I get drawn into, I'll just check LinkedIn, and I'll just check Twitter, and I'll just have a quick look at my emails, and it's like I'm doing it before I've even engaged my brain and made the decision. I'm just like, click, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, how can I stop?
Do you have a separate phone for work and a separate one for...
Well, no, a
painful,
client's just done that, and there's now got 2 phones, and I'm like, I hate the phone. I don't want 2 of them.
No.
But there's so much on my phone that I need at weekend, like my banking apps or WhatsApp for the kids and stuff, that I'm like...
You can set things on screen time. So you have screen
Parental
time.
controls.
Yeah, you can.
I can parental control
you can
myself.
parent yourself.
Yeah.
You can sort of limit how much time you spend on apps, or have some that won't work at the weekend, so you can
Won't
block
work at
them.
the weekend.
Yeah, block them.
Well, that's the answer. I'm
Yeah.
writing that down.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go.
Well, wait a minute. You can listen to the podcast and you'll be reminded of that one.
So you can literally, I can't get on these apps at the weekend.
It will or limit the time, so you can have it like you're only
I'm
allowed-
definitely going to do
Yeah,
that.
you can do.
It'll say, ask a grown-up if you want to access this app.
Yeah.
Will my husband get a notification? Your wife
Yeah,
is trying to check Twitter. Because all that does is just drag my mindset back
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
work.
yeah. Exactly,
I don't
yeah.
need to be thinking
But
about
if it's not blocked, then even if you find yourself doing it, you'll be like,
Oh.
access denied.
Brilliant. So, can we have some more confessions? What are your biggest challenges right now with regards to life-work balance?
Mine is that I've really worked hard to be able to spend more time with the kids, with the girls, and
You're regretting that decision.
and now I've managed to sort of achieve that and free up a bit of time. But I was a bit late because now they're teenagers and think I'm an absolute loser. They couldn't think of anybody less embarrassing to spend their time with. So, guys, do it while they're young.
This is where daytime drinking starts.
You mean I shouldn't be doing that?
Didn't say there was anything wrong with it. Just saying this is what leads to it.
Pete, what's your confession?
I don't think it's a confession. I mean, the biggest challenge really is maintaining it. So as we're recording this, so it's Wednesday the 28th of September, I've been off for 2 weeks. So I'm still kind of acclimatising myself back into work mode.
Yeah.
And I had 2 people, I handed the business over to them while I was away, and it's still just kind of picking little bits from the handover, and so it still feels a little bit all over the place. I don't feel kind of back in control of it yet, and I don't know whether the challenge is working out a way to make that happen quicker without pushing the start time back. You know, I was really firm on the fact that I sent one message to them on Sunday evening, but I didn't check an email or anything until 8 o'clock Monday morning.
Oh, brilliant.
You know,
Well
I was
done.
really like, no,
Yeah.
I'll
Keep
do
your
it
head
all
in-
tomorrow.
keep your head in holiday
Because if I
mode.
start it, then that's
Oh,
it.
yes.
Holiday's
Floodgates.
over.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's the thing of working out if we do this again or when we do this again, how do we just, you know, we're nearly 3 days after me being back now, and I'd like to have just bring that time, that, you know, that acclimatisation time down a little bit.
I think you still need at least a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think you do. And
It takes quite a long time.
It does.
doesn't it?
And the advice my coach always used to give me was never kind of dive straight back into work afterwards. Always give you a few days.
Right.
You know, don't put any clients in, at least first day when you're back. And just ease back in. And because that was a mistake I was making. Right, I've been off for 3 weeks. I've got to get straight back on it. And of course you come back and then you're immediately, ooh.
Definitely don't.
Sorry, what was that again? Let me just want to make a note of that. What am I doing again? What was it? What was that noise?
Just ooh.
Okay.
/ chilling out for just a little bit longer, just
Oh, okay.
easing
All right.
back in.
Definitely don't. Whatever you do, don't record a podcast on your day back.
No. No.
This ain't work.
It was setting this up. It was getting the equipment. I was like, how does this work again? What do I do?
But there are a lot of wires.
How do I do it?
Darren, have you got any challenges right?
Apart from avoiding the calls to go for naps every lunchtime, that is quite a challenge.
Don't resist those.
No.
The
Mid-40s,
Spanish
you're
have got it
allowed
right.
now.
They
The
have.
Spanish
They really have.
got it right.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, it is staying on top of that mentality though as well, because you always get kind of drawn to the dark side, don't you? Of like, well, I'll just check my phone or whatever.
Yes.
And I know I'm not supposed to, but if I just check a couple of emails, and I did that on my last holiday, and nothing dramatic or bad was happening. It was all, you know, good. It was under control, but it was like, well, I'll just have another look and see, and then I didn't sort of drag me out of the holiday mindset, but there was a bit of an element of, I'm looking at work stuff here. So when I go on my next holiday, which is tomorrow,
All right, Judy.
I will endeavour to not look and just stay on top of my own sort of philosophy on, you know, switching off.
Yeah, good for you. So what are the silver linings when it comes to having a positive, good work-life balance? Because a lot of people don't know what a good work-life balance looks like in business. So,
And I think that's the positive of having. I think I've got quite a good one, and to be fair, I think all four of us have got quite a good one. And I think the positive of it is that you can help those people who don't have a good one, and just explain, like we're doing here with this episode, of just kind of helping them, giving them some pointers as to, well, maybe just think about doing that, or just think about, you know, turning off the notifications on your phone for your mail, so you're not seeing that huge number next to that thing. It just doesn't exist. Kind of thing.
Yeah, that big red number next to the email icon. Yeah, that had to go.
Yeah, that was bang.
Yeah.
You know, well, while we were away, I moved my emails off, so I moved it to a completely different screen. So I didn't even know. You know,
That's a good tip.
It was
Hide it in some folder somewhere.
It was just away somewhere. But that's what I think the silver lining is being in a position to kind of help other business owners.
that was mine as well.
Oh.
But I loved it.
Oh, that was mine as well too. Yeah.
Was that yours as well, Kate?
Yeah, go on then.
Well, yeah,
it's
go
just-
on. Then.
It was going from, you know, feeling like I had to work 24/7.
Yeah.
And now what I love doing is teaching other business owners that, no, it's really, you know, it's kind of like the less you work, the better your business is. But in terms of the less work, in terms of, you know, being focused with the time that you are working, like ninja focused, rather than, I've got no deadline on this, so I'll just, you know, I'll do this in 3 hours, when really you could probably do it in an hour.
Yeah.
I find that for me, like doing work in weekends or after hours is a personal kind of failure of my time management skills.
Yes, it is.
So
That's
I
a
haven't
good
been
way
able to
to
squeeze
look at
get
it.
this in properly. That's points off for me. No biscuit today for me. No reward. No nap.
No biscuit.
I failed in my task to keep everything within 8 hours or whatever.
Yeah, it's that badge of honour. Has it gone or it's going? Of I'm really busy, and hopefully
It's great to be busy,
going.
but it's good being busy, but kind of in control. And and when you have the time out, you can appreciate the work, and when you're working, you can appreciate the time out.
Yeah.
And you feel more positive and probably healthier, but depending on how many biscuits you reward yourself with, obviously. But
Kate, what are your silver linings?
I just think that if you can work smart, I think those
Yes.
are my buzzwords from this. Is like just work smart and use your time in the right way. And if there's things that you don't need to be doing, you can just give them to somebody else to do. And if you and using like technology to help you as well. I think there's so much. You get bombarded so much, but being able to keep. When you're in work mode and you've got your work hat on, mute all your WhatsApp things when your mates are asking you when you're free to go to Alton Towers and things like that, which is what was happening yesterday. And I was like, right, I think I'll just mute that just for a bit. Even though I would really love to just talk about, Nemesis and having a good go on that. But
you've got a business, not a job.
Yes, that's it. So, yes. Yeah, so work smart, I think, and that's the silver lining is if you can work smart, then, you should be able to really, get a great balance in your life.
I don't think we can add to that, so I think we should finish on Kate's very wise words. So, thank you for listening. Please share, subscribe and review so our fellow business owners can enjoy, be inspired and always keep focused on the fun side of business too.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.